music, music, music,
technology,
music,
technology,
music, music,
technology,
teacher,
music,
technology,
teacher, teacher,
network, net,
teacher,
network, net,
teacher.
network.
Hey everybody, this is Heath with the Music Technology Teacher Network, www.mutechteachernet.com. So usually, like if I'm going to do a video, first of all, I make these videos usually after midnight, after my wife and my kids go to bed and we get the dogs put away. So it's about 7:45 here Eastern Standard Time. So you might hear my daughter upstairs practicing piccolo or my wife watching Jeopardy. The dogs will probably bark. I'm sure in the middle of this somebody will come ring the doorbell. But I had to sit down and do this. I had to get it off my chest because it just got all over me. Here's the thing. So I've said before in other videos, or if you've seen the website, you know, I spent 15 years being a high school band director and then 3 years as a middle school band director. Before I got into music technology, I am out here publishing things about music technology and teaching music technology and helping teachers teach with technology because I have been where you are. In the band room, in orchestra rooms, never in a choir room. There's a very particular reason why I was a band director, not a choral director. But, you know, the underlying theme through all my videos really is this. If I can figure out how to do this, you can too. And while I was in the ensemble teaching band or orchestra, you know, you had to drive me kicking and screaming to do anything with technology because it just wasn't relevant to what I was doing. We were learning instruments, acoustic instruments. I didn't need to use technology, and I don't disagree with that sentiment. And the thing that's been good for me, because I've been teaching music technology for like 5 years now, it was a pretty easy switch when we went to digital learning days, because to a large extent, I'm teaching digital learning days every day when we're in school. So I've really been focused the last 3 weeks. I've had tons of people. I've got emails from all over the country. I've got instant messages. I've got friends and relationships in the industry that have been working really hard to try to help teachers who are scrambling to get these digital remote learning things going. That's what I've been spending a lot of my time doing over the last 2.5, 3 weeks, is just trying to share as much information as I have with people out there to help you get through this. And so I'm just trying to help people. It's not a bad idea to do the video if you have the time and if you have the expertise to do it, because if you don't, you're going to drive yourself crazy. It's not that it's super hard to do, but it takes some time, and you have to know a few tips and tricks in order to not have it take you forever to do. So that's one thing. The most important thing, and I've said this over and over again to administrators over the years, as we were looking at doing some new thing with the curriculum or some new area, or, you know, we're doing these new student assessments. How do we build like student assessments and have like formalized, you know, common assessments for band classes? And the thing I always go back to is what is in the best interest of the students? Is this good for students? Is this going to promote student learning? If we're ensemble directors, during this time, one of the things that's most important for you is that you keep your students engaged, that you keep your students on the instruments, right? They've got to be playing their instruments to get better. I'm sorry, this is I'm trying to, oh, sorry, look at that. Okay, my brag was about to catch on fire. So listen, this is crazy, right? You know, my daughter's a high school senior, and everyone is like wigging out, like, oh, there's no prom, which as a father of a high school daughter, I'm not too upset about that. But what's going to happen? Like, there's no graduation. We're losing all these things. You know, ultimately for me, I'm just, I'm really, you know, my mother-in-law and my father-in-law are still alive and healthy. My own mother and father are both still alive and healthy. You know, my kids both want to go see their grandparents. They both of them live less than an hour away from us, but we're just not visiting. And it is a bummer. And I'm not trying to minimize how they feel at all, because I know it's a bummer. But I know, just as a father, I'm just glad that right now my family is healthy and my extended family is healthy, and we're going to try to continue to do that. I'm grateful that I have a job and that I was put in a position where when it came to the switch to digital learning, I'm pretty good as far as I'm concerned with my students. Right now, this semester, I'm teaching all beginning level middle school music tech classes. You know, that curriculum is already laid out for me. You know, I'm in a position where I can make these videos, where I can answer emails, where I can help other teachers, which is really what I'm passionate about doing. And, you know, and listen, you're stressed. I told somebody the other day, you know, they announced yesterday or 2 days ago in my home state of Georgia that schools were officially being closed for the rest of the school year. And that drove me crazy. Like, they on the news were like, the governor just announced that they're closing schools for the remainder of the year. And I was like, no, they're not. Schools aren't closed. School is still happening. That building is closed, but I can tell you for these next 7 or 8 weeks that we're still in school, teachers are going to be working 100 times harder than they would ever be working if we were in our classrooms with our stuff, with our students, like doing that. Like, you know, there's days that we go and it's like, oh my gosh, I hope so-and-so's going to be absent today. I never said never. But I tell you right now, we would give anything to be able to go back into our classrooms, not just because we want to see our students, but because doing what we're doing is 100 times more difficult than what we normally do. And the thing about it is, we found out over a weekend. By the way, guys, when you come back next week, we are shifting to total digital remote learning. Like, just like that, we switched everything. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly parallel, but you know, you have factories out there that used to be like producing, you know, widgets that are now shifting their production over to producing, you know, surgical masks or ventilators. And again, I'm not trying to minimize this, because that is super, super vital and important. But the thing about it is, that process of a company transitioning from the way they primarily manufacture something to manufacturing something in a totally new different way takes weeks and weeks. And teachers, we did it in a weekend, and we're still doing it, and we're still working on it, and it's stressful for us, and we're working harder than we've ever worked before. But I'm here to tell you folks, if you need help, ask somebody. If you need advice, email me. Okay, reach out to each other, not even just for like teaching advice, just because sometimes you just need to call somebody up and just vent. Sort of like, well, all of you that decided to listen to my video tonight, like, I'm just venting, and this is therapeutic for me. And so any of you that are like actually still listening, thank you, okay? But it's so encouraging to me to see how teachers are supporting each other. We started, like, you know, teacher incentive pay this past year, where now we're supposed to be like, you know, the best teachers in the school get an extra bonus. And it's garbage, because my teachers are my colleagues. They're not my competitors. So it's gratifying to me to see everyone helping each other out. So, okay.
Music, music, music,
Technology,
music,
technology,
music, music,
technology,
teacher,
music,
technology,
teacher, teacher,
network, network,
teacher,
network, music,
technology,
teacher,
network, music,
technology,
teacher,
network,
teacher,
network, music,
technology,
teacher,
network, music,
technology,
teacher,
network,
tech,
teacher,
network.